me that earlier.
Cool. So it's your boy Dave P. It is June 16th, 2023. We have one of our students, Taylor Georges, here, and we are going to be getting into any Q&A that he has. And I mean, we can burn up time pretty quick when it comes to real estate because that's what's on our mind, and we got lots of good stuff to share. So I was just replying to a text message I received from a realtor who made an offer on a property we're selling, and their buyer is using an FHA loan. So there's numerous kinds of loans. The three main are an FHA loan, a VA loan, or a conventional loan. Taylor, pop quiz. What are the differences of the three types of loan I just mentioned? FHA, conventional, or VA and VA?
Well, conventional is, the standard mortgage. It's 20% down typically, and that's what most people use, I would say. And then FHA is for first-time home buyers, which I thought you could only use
What are the down payment requirements for FHA?
3.5% or somewhere around there.
Yeah, right in there. Yeah.
Depending on the loan. And then you can use it once a year. I found out not long ago, which is cool. And then VA is for, I believe, military, right? And that's 0% down. Yeah.
Which loan is going to have the lowest interest rate?
The conventional.
Wrong. VA. VA gets the loan. Gets the
VA?
Yeah, they get
Oh
special.
man.
They should. We appreciate our veterans here in the cream.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So that's that. So when the market is, hot and there's multiple buyers, us as a seller, we're always just taking the conventional loan, because the conventional loan, you're going to run into the least amount of issues getting the loan done because they have the biggest down payment. So therefore, even if the appraisal comes in a little bit low, they're putting so much money down, their lender will still come through with the loan. That's why, like, us as a seller of a property, what's up, RJ? Just talking about the difference between an FHA conventional and VA loan, because we got an offer on one of our properties. They're using an FHA loan, so we just started the conversation that way. And us as a seller, we prefer our buyer to have a conventional, or to be using a conventional loan, because we're going to run into the least amount of hurdles from the lender pulling the trigger and funding the deal. Since they're putting so much money down, the lender feels pretty good about it, even if the house needs a little repairs, even if the appraisal comes in pretty close to the purchase price and whatnot. Like a conventional loan, you can still get them through. FHA is a little bit tougher to get through because it has to pass a certain inspection and meet a certain guideline of the condition in order to pass. And since they're putting less money down, you better make sure your appraisal comes in, and everything's got to be really buttoned up and tight to make sure in FHA when you're selling properties. And also, us as flippers, there's a 90-day flip rule for an FHA buyer. So if you bought a house today, Taylor, fixed it up really quickly, and you want to sell it 30 days from now, if you got an FHA buyer, you literally have to wait until you've owned the property for 90 days if your buyer is using an FHA. Oh. That's the rule. Did you know that?
Crazy. I didn't know that. Yeah. No, I never knew that. Nope. Never sold a property.
There you go.
Taylor.
Not yet. And then VA solid. There's just not a ton of VA buyers out there. It's probably we see those the least amount. There's just way more buyers, FHA and conventional. So when the market softens a little bit, you can't just be picky choosy when you want to sell a property and say, oh, I only want a conventional buyer. I mean, you got to be open, especially in the affordable housing stuff that RJ and I deal with these kind of, houses under 200K ARV, a lot of FHA buyers. So we got like 3-4 deals right now in contract that we're selling to FHA buyers. We don't mind it at all. We just got to make sure these inspections pass. And that's actually what RJ and I were talking about today. One of the guys we have doing a lot of these punch lists and doing a lot of these remedies to houses, I want to be able to incentivize the worker because again, we treat our workers like family in real estate, and that's what's going to make you successful long term. But I would like this worker to actually professionally walk through with the inspector, these FHA inspectors and stuff like that, to really make sure the deal gets done, instead of just sending this person out there blindly, then the deal doesn't get done. No, we got to like push these things to the finish line. So that's what RJ and I are going to be doing when working with FHA buyers. We want a good, solid person to do the work, and then we want that person to be kind of held accountable to go through the inspection process to make sure this loan closes. That's what we're up to, Taylor.
Seeing more FHA loans right now since the rates have gone up. Buying houses have been more.
Absolutely, absolutely. More, and especially in our price points, we've got a lot of FHA buyers. But I like them.
Well, so
you just got to make sure it passes that inspection and passes the appraisal. I mean, money's money. I don't care if it's FHA or conventional, but you know, some people don't. The 90-day flip thing can kind of hang people up, us as investors, but we've owned all these properties for over 90 days, so we're not worried about that.
That's good. So what about
a couple things to add on that? The reason why we're also adding the novation type strategy is it allows us to sell a property that we don't technically own. We just have the rights to help facilitate a sale. That's another way that we can get around that 90-day flip rule, is by doing a novation. But
you don't actually own the deed.
It's just allowing us to flip a property to an end user that's using a bank loan like that. So anyways, welcome back. Are you in Columbus now? Because that's a new background I see.
Yep. No, this is my apartment now. So I got an apartment right downtown. So I'm nearby, like, you know, all the places I want to be driving around, looking around. So awesome. I've been doing a little bit of driving for dollars recently.
Are you using
power? There's a lot of power to that.
Yeah, I paid for Deal Machine. Yep.
I found a vacant recently and sent it to the team. You saw that, RJ?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I found a vacant. Dude, I found a vacant here on the same street.
Yeah.
On the same street that we're on. It is literally. It is like it's a site. It's like the ugliest house on this block. Go ahead, David.
So here's some stuff I've been learning. And if you're watching this video, or Taylor, if you're not familiar, somebody I've been learning a lot from is a guy named Joe Dispenza. Have you ever heard of Joe Dispenza?
That name sounds familiar, but I'm not sure who he is.
So what I like about him is the guy's all about data, the guy's all about facts, and the guy's all about like legit like science. So there's a lot of information out there, especially in the personal development space, of like, it can feel a little bit hokey, like thoughts are things, and if you think about it, you can bring about it, and all you got to do is think about things. And that, like, that's a lot of, like, in my opinion, like hokey, kind of wishy-washy, hippy-dippy, kind of weird to me, right? Joe Dispenza is on the same path as far as like manifestation and creating the life that you want, but it's 100% backed by science and backed by brain activity, rewiring your brain, and ultimately action. I mean, he's all about action. Like that's what I think the hippy dippy people leave out, is like, yeah, I mean, it's good to think about things, but Joe Dispenza breaks it down. When you're thinking about it, this is what's happening in your brain, and it's going to cause you to act this way to create the results that you want. So it's very much backed by science. And he talks about our brain is processing 4 billion bits of information per second.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's insane. We're only conscious of 2,000 bits of information per second. So with that being said, it's like being in a dark room, and RJ and I talk about this, and we have a flashlight. We're in this whole dark room, this giant room, but our flashlight's only pointed on one tiny little part. You follow me?
Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
the 2,000 bits of information is just what the flashlight sees, but you're in a huge room, acres around you. I mean, there's so much more going on, right? So when we set an intention, for instance, as real estate investors, we're setting the intention to find vacant properties that we could buy at a discount to monetize in the form of reselling for a profit or purchasing, rehabbing, and refinancing, because that's the only way to make money in this business. When we set the intention that we want to find these, it's like taking the flashlight and pointing it in the part of this big dark room where we can find them, because we're telling our brain, hey, I want to find these things. It's called the reticular activating system. You see it all the time. If you got your eye on a car, you're going to see that car everywhere, right? If you, for instance, another example is we had this trampoline we got for our little guy Cody at home for Christmas, and we've been wanting to set up because the weather was nice here in Ohio, we've been wanting to set this trampoline up. I'm smart enough to know that this is going to be a major project. I cannot stand putting these things together. It's just a huge waste of time for me. It's going to take hours upon hours, and I would be by myself because Lindsay's in the house with the babies. Bottom line is, I knew I needed to set up this trampoline, but I knew I didn't want to be the one to do it. So I'm thinking in my mind for months, all winter long, I'm thinking about who am I going to get to fix this up? That's literally what I was thinking about. And then I started to see trampolines everywhere. I'm driving out to go to an appointment. I see people in backyard. I'm always seeing trampolines because it's on my mind. We were at dinner 2.5 weeks ago. I'm sitting at Cap City in Gahanna, and it pops up on my phone that a new person has applied to enter our local Facebook group, The Cream. And in order to pop up on my end, you have to check all the boxes and make it through the filters, meaning you have to explain what it is that you do, agree to the rules, have a profile picture. There's a whole little list. While explaining what this person who was entering the group, what he did, he's like, I put together basketball hoops, playground sets, and what else do you think he puts together?
Trampolines.
Trampolines. So I'm like,
Trampolines.
okay, well, screenshot that guy, let him into the group, sent him a direct message. He was over at our house. It took him 1 hour by himself. It would have taken me days, and I would have been frustrated. And I don't even have the right tools to do this stuff. He knocked it out for us. But that's just an example. It's on your mind. You're seeing it everywhere, and the flashlight points at what you want. So when we're a real estate investor, these vacant houses start popping up for us everywhere. I was at an appointment in Grove City. Boom, saw a vacant sticker, saw a notice sticker, went right up to the house. I'm like, okay, so yeah, I think driving for dollars is phenomenal. RJ, do you have any experience in your life about that?
Well, right now, so house that we're staying at is at the end of this street, 3 or 4 houses down from the beach. You guys see the beach? Hilton Head style.
Nice.
Right next door, this house is probably worth, well, Zillow is saying like 4.5, right? Nice house, has a pool, right?
Yeah.
And you got this house. And you got this house.
Oh.
First off, this hasn't been
like
renovated in a long ass time. The pool, if you can see the pool, don't want to go in there because I think people are there. You got this house, and then you got that house. So this is the house you go after, try to find the owner, see what the hell is going on, because on Deal Machine it's saying it's corporate owned, so something's going on. But this property, Zillow has it worth $3.5 million, overlooks the water right here.
Gosh.
This is the house to get. This is the house right here, Dave. Right here, next to this, and next to multiple millions of dollars worth of homes here. That one next door even looks even better. This is the Deal Machine app, so now it is in the Deal Machine app. I'm gonna go after this.
What if
if something happens here
on the door right now?
Oh, dude, we tried. No one's picking up. There's cars.
Did you knock? You knocked on the door
Right now.
For sure. for sure.
Does it have windows?
Yeah. No, there's somebody
Okay.
living in there, but when we're going through it, no one's home. But this is the house. That's the opportunity. This is a house that
That's a
we're
good
going to
idea.
get. We're probably going to tear this down, build up. This is the opportunity. You know? So as I'm here in vacation, I'm thinking about what it would feel like. This is the lesson. What it would feel like to have this house.
Yeah.
What it would feel like to get up in the morning, walk, and see this view. You know, this is going to happen. It already has happened. That's the type of thinking. So when you're going through these homes and you're analyzing, you're putting this in your deal machine app, visualize yourself helping that homeowner get what they want.
You see a lot of houses like Rico.
So this is very real. So this is what's going to happen. We're going to document this, Dave. Going after this house. We're going to figure it out. We don't need to have it all figured out now, because things will just fall in place. But this is a house. The fixer-upper house is what you want to buy, and not that house. Anyways, it's good to have you in town, Taylor, and you're going to be in close proximity. And so definitely lean on what you're learning and bounce back some ideas that you have so we can get you to your first deal. Because you're close.
I've been, like I said, I've been
close.
driving for dollars, trying to make some calls. No luck with the calls yet, the cold calling yet, but I've only been here for a week now, so but I have been talking to some people about on market deals. I'm supposed to be looking at a duplex. I don't know, it's supposed to be this week, but the agent is lacking
motivation, or is he just not getting back to you, he or she?
We talked a couple of times. The duplex actually went into contingency, but the people that were buying it walked through it and basically decided it was more work than what they wanted. It was their first property. Because it needs like a little bit of reconstruction, because right now it's a 5-1, like 5 bedrooms on one side and 1 on the other. And my plan would be to make it a 3-3 on each side. But yeah, so it came back on market. I called him, talked to him, and he said that he had to like talk to the owner to get the keys so he could show it to me. There's people living in it right now, and like set up a time. But yeah, I was trying to call him yesterday. I'm gonna try to call him back again today.
Great.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from him. So
good. That's awesome.
It's a good problem. But I really want to try to focus on those like off-market deals. That's like what I really want to focus in on. I just have to make more calls and get better at.
Yeah, do it. Become a pro at it, and just fall on your face as many times. The sooner you make a ton of mistakes, that is going after the right thing. That's the problem with a lot of people. They spend their whole life wasting time because they're going after the wrong thing. Well, you're going after the right thing. Go after the off-market deals and just get really good at that. But the only way you're going to get really good at it is just by completely falling on your face over and over and over again. So the sooner you can do that, the better. You're going to get deals, bro. You're going to. It is absolute. If you set the intention and you put the action in, bro, everybody
eventually come.
It's just
just starting out with it, man. Like I've fallen on my face maybe 30 times so far. So one of them has to keep me up. So I actually have a question.
Make it a game. Make it fun. Guess what? It's happening again. It's like be like Teflon. You're like, I don't care. Like it's not about like.
I don't even see it as falling on my face. I'm just
experience. I'm good at it.
Yeah. I do have a question actually about making cold calls like on Deal Machine when you see that it's like absentee owner or like corporate owned specifically. I guess I've had like inner feeling that calling corporate owned properties is not going to be as effective calling like absentee owners or like owner occupied or something like that. Is that a legit concern that I have, or is it just in my head? Because I feel like corporate owned, they're owning to hold on to. They don't need to sell it. Like that's just but then again, we'll see. I don't know.
Did you know 97% of businesses fail in the first 5 years?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
I don't know if it's 97%, but it's a high number. I just made that part up. But a high number of businesses fail. Everybody and their brother has an LLC, aka corporate owned. Don't put them on a pedestal. It's just some person behind every corporation or LLC. It's just a person. And a ton of these businesses fail. They don't have their shit together. And if they're sitting on a vacant house, there's motivation there. We know, because nothing good comes from a vacant house. There's risk of vandalism, and you're paying property taxes. That's the two biggest risks.
Yeah.
Probably code violations too if it's sitting vacant, not cutting the grass and the property's deteriorating. Don't put it on some pedestal. Just say, hey, what's going on? I had a note. Oh, you own this property here? Just looking by, man. You want to? I want to see if we can put something together. It's like that's it. It's just, that's my feedback. What's your feedback, RJ?
Same thing. It's, behind any ownership, whether it's a business or a person, there's got to be some motivation. I mean, this guy's probably heard it from the neighbors, like we are, on some of our flips that are taking a little bit longer. We get calls. Like I forgot to tell Dave the other day, we have one in Lancaster or Newark, and the lady is like blaming me, because she's dealing with some internal things. She's probably a distressed seller, and she's projecting her reality to me. And it's like when you're, looking at an app or you're swiping away, I just swiped away and I blocked her number. But the message was, your house has high grass, which we're getting cut, and it's making me take less on my house. So she's blaming her problems to me. And that's what people do. They like to not take ownership of anything and then completely be in this vibe of victim. It's not me, it's them, and I'm perfect, and so they're going to get stuck in attracting the same stuff over and over again. But she didn't know, and she probably didn't want to even hear me. She just wanted to be heard that we're getting this grass mowed and it's on the docket to get rehab. So, and that is, if you look it up under records, it's an LLC, so it's going to look at as if we're a corporate owned. So don't assume, go in there. My approach is a true approach in here. It's like, hey, we're looking for a house that we want to call our home, our second home. And if you're looking to sell, please give me a call. I'd love to hear how we could work out a deal. That would be my first approach. If this person was here right now, knocked, that's what I would approach, because it's the truth, and go from there. Maybe they have plans to rehabbing it. Maybe they don't, but you got to stay in front of them. Mm-hmm. The people that succeed in this game are people that, and business owners that take care of their leads, don't treat their leads like they're, bad or good leads. They treat every lead the same. They get to the point where they have that person on the other end make a decision, whether it's a yes or no, or maybe it's not the right time right now. You got to take care of your leads. So as you build your lists, kind of what you're doing right now, until you get to a point where you can actually go and buy a list, treat those leads as if they're gold until they decide or sell with somebody else. It's a dead lead. It's like, look, I'm not wanting this. Like, somebody approached me for my house back home. It's like, I'm going to tell them the truth. We're not looking to sell this house. And I appreciate you, though, for reaching out to me. Why don't you reach out to me in, 5 years? Then maybe I'll sell. Right?
Yeah.
And it's up to them to stay in front of me. And if they don't, somebody else is going to come in and give me an offer. That's where we've seen our leads go, is to other home buyers that they just got in front of them at the right time. But it is our responsibility to make sure we're staying in front of these leads. And it's a delicate balance of doing that, because you've got new leads that you feel super excited about. Everyone likes the new. They forget about the old leads that are in their database that they got to also touch. So, if you're using Deal Machine for that, they have a lot of automations there. You can simply text from your phone, but stay organized and keep staying in front of your leads, because something could happen. Just a matter of time, just a matter of time.
Hey, Taylor, do you have a pen handy?
Yep.
All right.
I got some paper.
What's that?
I said I got some paper too.
Sweet. I want you to write this down.
All right.
There has never been a self-made millionaire who is, or I'm sorry, I should say, who has a victim mentality. You can't have both. You can't you can't. I mean, there's no such thing as a fucking self-made person who's been through so much shit, ups and downs of this thing and everything else. You can't carry a victim mentality, woe is me. Because self-made millionaires know that they are in control of their reality and they create their reality. They don't let reality define them and say, oh, I can't do this because, all this is bad stuff is happening to me. Now, everything that happens to us is just a launch pad to the next level. It's never ending. Even after you're a self-made millionaire, there's still going to be things that you essentially could be like, oh, why is this happening to me? No, it's all serving you on some level. That's why when the future comes, we look back to the past and be like, oh, wow, yeah, this traumatic thing happened. Oh, I got screwed over by this business partner. Oh, I got this happened, that happened. But if that wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't be here right now. I'm telling you, we have two choices. We can look at things that happen to us either as, oh my God, why is my life so bad? That's the victim mentality. Or we can look back at our past and be like, wow, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here today. Or if that didn't happen, I never would have remembered this. I never would have met this person. So it's all how we perceive it. But if we perceive our past as like this victim, we're always going to be that. And we're never going to take responsibility for our life and actually create shit. We're always going to be like a fucking victim.
I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of that victim mentality going around.
Well,
these
what?
Times.
What I've noticed, and I'm completely disassociated from all of this stuff, but it's almost like it's cool to be a victim now. It's almost like you fit in if you are like, wow, I'm oppressed. Wow. I'm not saying oppression is not real. I'm not saying that, hatred and, dishonesty. And of course, all this is real, but it's almost you fit in if you say, woe is me. The louder you scream it, the more you're accepted. It's pretty interesting. I've
more followers.
What's that?
Have you ever
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
No, that's it. I mean, that's it. So disassociate from that energy. Like I'm absolutely away from it. I don't.
So here's some observations. I'm with families right now that are good families, right? They're good families. Known these people for as long as I've known Lindy, and what I've found is that in these conversations, especially just kind of like after dinner conversations, if you listen to what they talk about, a lot of it is negative. And the connotation of someone's either complaining about something, somebody's upset about something that really they can't control, because it's, you know, maybe we were at a restaurant and someone didn't have a good experience there, and they're like really talking about it more, you know, like, oh man, you know, we could have got this happened and that happened. And then, you know, sometimes my wife does that and I have to like really like switch the frame of thinking around, because it's what is the term? It's called stinking thinking. Like, why dwell on something negative when we're here in this wonderful place where people would die to be in this place, or even get here, or even have a meal like that. So I try to remind her a lot of times, but as I think we're influenced obviously by the media. Media starts off negative. And so a lot of our day-to-day talks sometimes can be negative. You gotta watch that, because it's that when you're in that vibe of complaining and talking about just something just completely negative, what is that really doing? It's that victim mentality, that woe is me. It's that, you know, okay, we're going to talk about this, and now you're in that vibe, and it's just not productive. Puts you in that vibe. Now you're complaining, and a lot of this talk is at the end of the day. You know, it's like, so now you're going to bed with this like, oh, it sucks. So watch what the conversation is like in certain circles that you're in, and you know, you don't have to partake in it. You can just like kind of observe it, observe what they're talking about. It's like, man, I don't really want to talk about that stuff. There's certain conversations that I literally have to get myself out of, because it's just not what I want to talk about.
I noticed that a lot. I caught it too. I know that people hate me because of that, but I'll, like, you know, if my sister's talking about like why her day at work is so bad, I'll be like, well, what happened? That was good. Like, tell me something that's good. That's what I want to hear, you know, like, you know, and then she'll start talking about something good. And it's like, all right, this is like a more productive conversation and like pushing your life in a more positive direction, you know?
Yeah. This is the work, man. This is the work, daily work. Entrepreneurship and personal development. And this is the way. Like, why do you think Elon Musk is Elon Musk? How many times did he fail at SpaceX? What do you think is going on in his mind right now? Probably a lot of I can do, I know it's going to work, I believe, not this, oh God, that food we had, terrible, you know, oh, there's probably not a lot of complaining going on. Probably not. It's probably like, I know this is going to work. It's going to take a team to work. It's probably the conversations that he's having. You know, good job, like with his key people. It's like, look, we're almost there. You're doing a great job. Keep going. You know, you can do this. I believe in you. We're almost there. We're so close. Don't give up. I'm not giving up. I can count on you. You can count on me a lot. That's probably what's going on. That's the conversation.
I read his book. Well, so it was written by Ashley Vance, who is a publisher at, or not a publisher, but he's a person that works for Bloomberg, you know, writing stories, a journalist. And Elon let him into his life, to all of his most personal connections, like his ex-wife, his wife, you know, and like all the people that his ex-employees, his current employees, and like, you know, Ashley Vance was able to like really go in and get everybody's perspective on him, and kind of wrote about like his upbringing and also like him creating these different companies. And I mean, that's the entire book. Like, if I got one thing out of it, it's he believed he could do something and he just started doing it. Like, he didn't know how to do it. Like, I mean, you know, he did have like some knowledge, like when he went into PayPal, he was a coder, you know, like, or when he started, uh, um, it wasn't PayPal, it was X. That's what it was. But yeah, so I mean, like, it was basically him going into something, seeing the impossible, and just being like, I want to create this, and then doing it. And like, that's what I got out of it, is he never had like the thought like, I can't do this, or like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. He was just like, I'm gonna do this. And same with like Phil Knight. I read his book, the Nike book, the founder of Nike. It was like these people see something they want to do and they just do it. They don't say all the reasons, and they don't see all the negative consequences of doing it. They just see, that image, that final goal. And I mean, that's definitely how I try to like push myself forward. Don't let the negative things get me down too hard, and work through it and try to find the positives in it. That's like, yeah, that's what I'm about.
We
So
can't
I'm definitely
create from the past. This is the high level stuff right here, Taylor. Is this we as people crazy carrying the past experiences, especially the traumatic past experiences where you got hurt. I don't know why we do it. I'm learning to not do this anymore. Holding grudges, dude. Oh, this person fucked me. Oh, this sucked. And I just remember it. And like, the only way to, because when we feel shame, guilt, regret, grudge, judgment, when we're in that vibe, there's an undertone of unworthiness. You just don't feel worthy. But, and this is why all the great spiritual teachers have taught us, Buddha, JC, all the boys, forgiveness and love. If you can look at fucking shit from the past and literally forgive and love, and that's what compassion is. It's like, I got compassion. They're just running a program. It's all good. And just, if you can get to and then your heart opens up, you forgive. If you truly can forgive, and then live judgment free, what? Because then you overcome the whole unworthiness, and you start to literally feel abundant. You're like, wow, okay, we're all connected. Like, the undertone of like past experiences of like, oh, I got fucked over, oh, so and so, and like we keep regurgitating it. This is, like RJ just said, this is what the day-to-day conversation is for a lot of people. It doesn't have to be I got fucked over or I got abused, or it doesn't have to be that traumatic. It could be the food there sucked. Oh, did you ever go to here? It's the conversation is of the past and things that were not ideal, instead of the future and what we're looking to create. We got to think about this as people. We're in the present moment right now. Why would we think it's even smart to like fathom that we have access to the past? Basically, we have these memories and stuff like that, but not access to the future. That makes no sense. It's not that kind of universe, man. It's not that kind of world where it's just like a one-sided deal. There's two sides to every coin. So if we have access to the past through memories, why would we not have access to the future through thoughts? And that's our creation right there. Why not dwell in that land of future of what we want? You think Elon Musk is thinking about his failures? He's thinking about what he wants to fucking do next. It's like next, focusing his energy into the future, not dwelling in the fucking past, man. Like,
For sure.
Dude, we had people, up until recently, RJ and I still have business partners that, man, just literally up until the last couple of weeks, I started forgiving and loving and judgment-free zone, and it makes life easier for me. And it's like, I'm telling you, forgive. And then like old employees, man, like RJ and I have made a lot of mistakes. In January, we fired 60% of our staff. And that sucks because I look at it as a failure. And I look at it as, like I was for a while. Look at, oh, that guy didn't know what he was doing. Oh, fucking idiot. Oh, that's that fucking record in the brain. No, let it all go. Forgiveness. Forgive yourself is the most important thing to do. Forgive yourself and love yourself. And then you can rebuild and recreate. But if we dwell in this shit from the past, we're just going to keep recreating it. We're literally just going to manifest it again. That's why you have money, then you lose it. You have money, then you lose it. It's this program because you're just dwelling in the past. Forgive it all. Yep.
Spot on, man. It's like you gotta first, like you gotta realize that you gotta take responsibility that you can create what you want here. We all do. First thing in the morning, you gotta get your mind right. That's why, Dave and I are, I myself, I never really drank that much, but now when I'm waking up, I see and feel a lot better, way better than I used to when I used to, maybe have a couple of drinks or go out and blah, 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 and like wake up feeling the sting of that. And in the 20s and 30s, didn't really bother you. As you get older, it does. And I'm really protective of this because this is this is what controls your reality. You got to protect that. You got to protect your, body and mind. So first thing I do in the morning is I get my intentions right. A lot of gratitude, a lot of affirmations, and meditation. Now, it does sound like, okay, everyone says that. Okay. But is everybody really doing that? The people that say like, yeah, that's a little woo-woo, they're already in a negative mindset. That's not going to work. I've heard that before. They actually haven't done the work. If you actually do the work and then do what's called thought auditing, and then auditing about what is coming in daily from the work, and it could be subtle things. So like, there's certain deals that are coming in that we don't have access to. I mean, we just wouldn't have access to because we're not even pointing our marketing towards. I'm talking about commercial deals. But the work that we've been doing is getting up, affirmations, gratitude, what we want, pretty like visualizing that we have it, and then we'll get an email or a phone call. And it could be like, hey, there's 318 units in, Cincinnati. Love to connect with you. Want to talk about property management, blah, blah, blah. Like, or, a buddy of ours who's in commercial saying, hey, there's a portfolio that the owner wants to unload. They're willing to, carry back some of the financing. This is stuff that happens. You know what I mean? Like, this kind of enters. We're doing deals with some of our students. So there's like unexpected blessings coming in this week, like we would have never known. But it's because of this and how we're approaching every day that it just starts popping in. Unexpected stuff.
RJ,
and you wonder, okay.
Not to cut you off, but I mean, think about all the money in revenue because we're adding so much value. This isn't tooting our own horn, but look, RJ, we got the deal coming in today. We just did a deal last week that we got $55,000 on, came from a student, right? And helping everybody. Everybody won in the whole deal. Here's another one, RJ. Remember Jess, the Reynoldsburg deal? Cream member, brought us a deal. Made like 19,000 on. It's just like, it's just flowing to us. We literally are just receiving it. It's really incredible. I have an exercise.
And then my last thought before I lose it is the only way that we can accept this is clearing our mind of judgment and victim mentality and blame. You're just not. You're not going to get it because that's not what you're projecting. It's completely different. So if you're complaining and you're blaming and this and I'm a victim, you're going to get more of that. Go ahead, Dave.
Because you don't feel worthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple exercises. You just made me think of another one. So look at this, Taylor. Let me go to. All right. If you can see the little orange thing.
Yeah.
Can you read that?
I am enough. I am.
Right. Look at this. So there it is. There it is again. So there you got it at 8.
Get the data.
You got it at 12. Hang on. You got it at 8. You got it at 12. You got it at 3. You got it at 6. You got it at 9. Every 3 hours, this pops up on my phone. And this is what it says. Read it out loud.
I am enough. I am worthy. I have always been enough. I will always be enough. Tomorrow at 9 p.m.
And every 3 hours, it's on my phone. First thing I see. Yeah, so being worthy is the opposite of the victim mentality, and nothing carries more shame and guilt than using substances, like especially alcohol. Tell me one person who doesn't regret a hangover. Tell me one person with a hangover who says, "Oh, it was all worth it. I feel grateful that I drank that much last night." Yeah, right. Not a chance. So that's the first exercise. Is I encourage you, and I can text this to you or put it in the group chat, to set up your affirmations. Set this up on your phone so it pops up every 3 hours, and it's just going to start being the record that you play in your mind. And the second thing is you might need to take either. What's that?
Can I throw something in real quick before I lose that?
Yeah.
I have two things. So one, the daily affirmations thing, and like the whole like mentality of like, you know, you're gonna make what you want to make happen, reminds me of a book that I read, and it's Think and Grow Rich. I don't know if you guys have read that, Napoleon Hill, but
yeah.
Absolutely.
it's all about waking up and reading your daily affirmation and being specific on what it is exactly you want to do. And then the other thing to say, Dave, to you specifically, so yesterday I went to this meetup, this real estate meetup, and my friend hit me up to go there, and he said there's going to be food and an open bar, and I was like, oh yeah, man, like let's go, let's, you know, I want to go whether there's food in an open bar or not, but an open bar makes it better, you know. But I haven't been drinking recently. I was like, it's fine, like I'll go, I'll like have a drink, you know, like whatever. I've been drinking in, I don't know, a couple weeks. But on the way there, I was listening to Terry Summers' podcast with you on it.
You know my story then.
And the whole time I was driving there, you were talking about your whole experience and everything. And so when I got there, I looked at the open bar. I didn't get a drink the whole time I was there because I was like, I've been wanting to stop for a while, you know, and I don't drink a lot anymore. When I was in Florida, I was drinking some, but I was like, why even get this one drink or drink this one time, you know, like just.
Good job, man.
So yeah,
That's great.
That interview.
Out there, dude. Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm gonna be able to help a lot of people. That's my passion project after this real estate stuff and coaching. Really, the coaching thing is like my main thing. RJ and I are like gonna do real estate because that's like the foundation of like what we do. But my passion project is I'm gonna be working with other entrepreneurs and, you know, high achievers, and helping them quit drinking alcohol, because it's so taboo, right? It's like people feel so weird. You know, they're afraid to tell people they don't drink. It's such an interesting thing. I went through every emotion you could possibly imagine when it comes to quitting drinking alcohol, and I will never drink again. That's my commitment. But I want to help other people at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm glad that that podcast landed for you. I won't listen to it. I hate listening to myself on videos and anything. I don't watch any of my own stuff, man. I don't watch any of the reels, videos. I won't watch this video. But so check this out. Go ahead. Did you have something?
I was just gonna. I never told you this, but I actually interviewed with Terry Summers like years ago to be a social media guy, like way back in the day. But I ended up getting a different offer and took that instead. That was before I was into real estate. So Terry's a good dude.
We just went to his class, and he's definitely got a lot of dialed in stuff. Plenty to learn from him. That's why we paid him for our own consulting. I think there's something to learn from everybody, man.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. Don't ever lose sight of that. There's always something to learn. There's obviously some good and bad stuff that's out there, but when you see other people in your space that are going through his stuff and seeing results, it's a sign, you know.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. That's probably a really new lesson. Yeah, it's a recent lesson, is that you can learn something from everybody, even new people that are in the game, but they figured something out. So It's beautiful out here, guys.
Do this. So Taylor, I need you to either take your hat off or put it backwards, but you're going to need to get rid of the bill that's in front. All
I'll
right.
take it off.
Here's the exercise. Take your left hand and put it on your heart. Now say, I am the creator of my own reality.
I am the creator of my own reality.
Now with your right hand, your right pointer finger, tap your head and say, I have a millionaire mind.
I have a millionaire mind.
How's that feel?
My heart started beating.
There you go, dude. Isn't that fucking great? Yeah, like I'm the creator of reality. I have a millionaire mind. And just touch your forehead. Just anchors it in.
Dude.
Crazy.
Yeah,
It's so
good.
simple. It's so simple, man. We don't need a drug. We don't need a pill to fucking create our reality. No. It's all in here. In fact, our hypothalamus, have you ever heard of the hypothalamus before? It's in the brain. It's the biggest chemical factory in the entire planet. And the chemicals it releases are peptides. And these peptides change our body on a cellular level, therefore, literally physically changes our body and changes our vibration. Let me give you a quick example. A man, when he sees something he's attracted to, when he sees someone he's attracted to, his body changes. When a man gets aroused, it starts with a thought. I'm not trying to be funny. It's just absolutely true. It's part of life, right? So it starts with a thought and a physical change happens inside the body. Here's another example. If you close your eyes and I walk you through thinking about a lemon, you're going to feel your glands start to swell up in your quenching of the mouth. You're just thinking about it. Thoughts change our physical vibration, change our physical body. And what it is the hypothalamus producing these peptides. And outside of every single cell, there's billions of little receptors. These peptides go into the cell like a key going into a lock. And that's why your body changes, because we're cellular on a cellular being. We're all cells. It's all cells, right? Our physical body. So with that being said, when we are living in a state of, because every single emotion carries its own peptide or carries its own chemical. So when we're living in shame, regret, fear, and guilt, those chemicals are always being released into our body, and we are that. We literally physically are that emotion. We are shame, guilt, regret, and fear. Like we physically ourselves are that, right? And on the contrary, when we are in a state of, gratitude, love, and forgiveness and compassion, that is what's being released into our brain, into our physical being. Now, the cells are really interesting. We're talking about being, addictive personality. Our cells literally become addicted to the peptides that they're getting most frequently. So if we're always in a state of this fear, regret, doubt, and shame, these peptides are always going there. The cells configure so those peptides easily go into the cell. It just like they get married. And then our subconscious mind will continue to create experiences in our life to make us feel the emotion that we're addicted to. We will subconsciously create things to feel shame, guilt, misery, fear about, because we are addicted to that peptide. So we will continue to create things in our life to keep getting that peptide released to serve ourselves. But if we can interrupt the pattern of our feelings, and the first way to interrupt the pattern is to stop, and instead of making knee-jerk reactions and being this thing, stop and just start to observe our thoughts. And that's called being conscious. That's called being present. And instead of just drowning in the fucking river of thought and going and making these decisions and this is it, stop, work your way to the side of the river and just start watching that river go by. Wow, that thought just popped in my mind. Wonder where that comes from. Some old program. Wow. So not making emotional responses to the thoughts. This is the first step. This is like acknowledging, this is being conscious. And then once we are present, we can actually start to consciously think of the way we want to feel, right? So instead of this knee-jerk life where we're just flying by the seat of our pants, right, and creating whatever emotion comes up for us, and no, now we can say I am statements. I am worthy. This is what I'm going to create. I'm going to feel good today, right? I'm going to create my day by the way I feel. I am enough. I am worthy. You start to consciously release the peptides and become addicted to those happy feelings. So now your subconscious is going to continue to create experiences in your life to serve that addiction. I feel great. So I'm going to continue to create moments in my life to feel great about. And that goes back to we only process 2,000 bits of information out of 4 billion. Well, what do you think your brain is going to focus on? Things to feel great about. You're just going to keep pointing that flashlight and pointing your attention to things that serve that cellular addiction of these peptides. This is how it all works. I freaking finally understand this stuff. I learned it all from Joe Dispenza. That's the guy that I get all this from. And it's fucking totally makes sense to me. It's just like,
Yep.
Oh, that makes sense. Like, I finally got it. Like, I was exposed to this when I was your age, probably younger, 19, 20 years old, personal development. But the ego was so big that I couldn't resonate with it. When the student's ready, the teacher appears. I had to go through shit and die and experience ego death and experience crisis and experience trauma. And then I figured it out. But that's the trick here, Taylor. You don't need to experience crisis and trauma to take these words and run with this stuff right now. A lot of people need to hit rock bottom. And then they start to fucking point the flashlight in the right direction. You don't need to. Just do it now. And it all comes back to how we think and how we feel. Remember what RJ was saying? It's like it's more important on how feeling as if you already have it. Who is the person that would already have what it is that you want? How would they act? So what you're doing when you do that is on a cellular level, when you're acting as if you are vibrating at that frequency on a physical, literally your body produces a vibration. That's why our body changes with certain thoughts. And now you are attracting that into your life when you just are it. Feeling it is the most important thing. And believing
Yes,
it.
sir.
Faith. You know, that's what the great spiritual teachers talk about, faith too. Because you could be like, yeah, I'm a millionaire. But if there's an ego attached to it, you're like, I'm a millionaire. But in your mind, you're like, I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. I'm a victim, right? You can't trick God, man. You can't trick the universe, right? You can put it out there like, yeah, look at me, I'm a millionaire, this and that. But if your inner game is off and you really don't feel worthy, you will continue to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. So it all starts from within. And that's my rant. I'll stop right there. But you can
Taylor and Dave, I gotta run. I think this has been a great talk. Glad that you're back in town.
Yep.
I'm glad that we were able to talk this through. This is an important module because without this and what we're trying to teach here, all this stuff is just strategies and movement. That's all we're doing here. Real estate, it's just certain steps to get what you want. That's it. But if it's not internally right, you're gonna go and something's gonna happen, and it's like you're basically sabotaging yourself. So, anyways, I gotta run. I'll be back Sunday. We can chat. We can powwow. Good to have you back in town, Taylor.
Come back on next week, same time, and we're all going to do an exercise. Okay. I have Cody Cleary in the office today, another realtor. We did a deal on 827 Bassett. He's already got the keys, but there you go again. So you can do this exercise with us, right? Take your left hand and put it on your heart.
I'll see ya.
And take your point by
RJ.
And take your right finger, pointer finger. First, you're going to say, I'm the creator of my own reality.
I'm the creator of my own reality.
Now take your finger and say,
Creator.
I have a millionaire mind.
I have a millionaire mind.
Bam. There you go. Taylor, we'll see you next week, man.
All right, man.
Hey,
thank you.
Do that exercise every day until next week and see how you feel. So remember, I'm the creator of my own reality. I have a millionaire mind. Do it multiple times a day every day until I talk to you next Friday.
All right, sounds good. I'll see you next Friday.
See ya.
Thanks, Dave.